What is up, everyone? We are back with episode 9 of Smoking Meteoras. I am your host, Marissa, and this week I am joined by none other than the damsel herself, Daphne DeVille. Thank you so much for joining us this week, Daphne. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well myself. So, I start every episode off the same way, and I like to jump right on in. And the first question I ask everyone is, what is the dumbest thing you have done for wrestling?
Jeez, how much time do we got? Um, that's tough. I mean, I'm not sure too many singular events are like jumping out at me, but I think just generally speaking, we do some pretty silly things for wrestling. I mean, the act of wrestling itself is really silly. Like we're really putting ourselves in harm's way and just like doing real damage and taking a toll on our bodies for the sake of entertainment and like this medium that we all love and appreciate so much. I mean, I've done plenty of dumb things. Like I've missed plenty of weddings, I've missed funerals. Like one that's sticking out is like I remember one time early on, Agro and I had a booking in New York, I think Brooklyn, and we had a ride there, but not a ride back. And we went anyways. And that is kind of stupid. That's not a great plan. I think that the plan was, oh, we'll just get a bus ticket or something the next day, but we had like nowhere to stay after the show. We had no definite means of getting home, like nothing planned at all, which is egregiously like stupid and just like not smart. But it ended up working out because we had singles matches on that show. It was for Wrestlers Lab. I think it was like their second or third show way back. And he wrestled Sully Banger on that show. And so after their match, they're talking and shooting the shit and whatever. And Sully mentions how him and his partner are going on vacation to Bar Harbor, Maine the next day. And they have to drive through the town that we both live in to get there. And it's just like, oh, so do you think maybe? And he ended up putting us up and we rode with them back to Maine and they dropped us off where we lived right at our doorstep. And then they went on their vacation like an hour away from where we lived. And he ended up, he's someone we're still friends with today. So stupid, yes, but sometimes the stupid things work out. So
Absolutely. And that Sully Banger is a name I haven't heard in quite a long time.
right, yeah. I mean, I don't think he's really doing much wrestling stuff. He's doing band stuff and carrying on his late wife's legacy and the stuff that she was making.
Doing a
R.I.P.
hell
to
of a
Katie.
job at it.
Yeah, he's a really amazing person. He really is. Both of
So,
them were, honestly.
so you had quite the weekend.
Yeah. Yep.
So we had a reunion that was once I saw you return, I felt could have been inevitable, and I'm happy with the way it went. But we have MSP back officially,
Indeed.
and you guys are taking on Channing Thomas and Anthony Green at the next show.
Yep. March 27th for Limitless Wrestling's Bissell Brothers Bash. It's a little mouthful for you. It's at Brick South in Portland, Maine. Crazy show they had last year. I wasn't a part of it, obviously, as I wasn't in wrestling at the time. But I think they did like 1,300 people last year, and it looked sick. So should be a really stellar show. I know there's not a lot of announcements for it yet, but that match, that alone is going to be pretty sick. I mean, it's the first time we've teamed together in well over 2 years. So
Absolutely. So let's take a walk down memory lane and let's
do
go
it.
back to the very, very beginning. So before the characters and the gear, what first pulled you into wrestling? When did you first become a fan?
Um, I think I was pretty young. I was probably like 5 or 6 years old, I'd say. And really just the theatrics of it, the larger and lifeness of it all. Um, the costumes, the colors, the storylines, the promos, the action, just kind of all of it. It's like I think wrestling's like a really cool melting pot of like theater and then like sport. Um, and it's just so unique in that regard. Like there's just really nothing else quite like it. So I think it just really like I was just so enthralled with it when I was a child. So yeah, pretty early on, like I think most of us.
So what did wrestling mean to you back then before you had even entered a ring?
It meant the world to me. Like it was when I first discovered it and did become enthralled with it. It really just like I was just obsessed. It was life. And it was definitely a huge form of escapism for me at the time too. Um, I grew up in a pretty not so great environment, an abusive household. Um, Wrestling was kind of always there for me. I was an introverted kid, so playing with my wrestlers by myself, the video games, just everything like that.
So at what point did it turn into something that you actually wanted to try, and what made you believe it was something that you could do?
Well, I fell out of it going into like high school. I think a lot of us went through a spell similar and around similar times. Kids are fucking mean. I got
Yep.
bullied for liking wrestling for sure. I
Yep.
stopped watching it for probably like 6 or 7 years. And then once I was in college, I kind of got back into it. And I don't know, like, I don't think it was something I ever really thought too much about, like in a real sense. But like from back when I was a kid, like I had those dreams of, main eventing WrestleMania and yada, yada, yada. And so I think that was always kind of there, but like in a serious manner, never really like super thought of it. And then I was getting done with like music, kind of was going through some bad like friendship breakups in the music scene and realized that there was a training place, a company that offered training basically that was local. And pretty much as soon as I found that out, I started. Just because I kind of was looking for something new to do. I had just recently kind of gotten back into wrestling and I was young and hungry and I was just a real go-getter. And that opportunity kind of like threw itself in front of me. So I was like, all right, let's go, so I just kind of went for it.
So when you first got into wrestling, were you scared of walking into training or were you more excited?
I was excited. And I knew Jossie already aggro. His second training session was my first. He was actually how I found out about training in general. So like I had somebody that I already knew. Obviously I was super nervous, but like I was very excited. I think I was more excited than anything, for sure.
So you step into training and you get your first couple of sessions under yourself, but what was that experience like for you very early on?
Um well, there's the getting used to like the bumps and even like hitting the ropes like early on, like that'll bruise your back up like pretty bad when you're not used to it. Um and then after that it just kind of was like, okay, I conquered this training session. And then the next one would be like, okay, I tackled this and this. And like, it just kind of kept just building. And like having aggro there the whole time was like really nice because we were very much like physically on like the same page and like level. Kind of going tit for tat, like not really one-upping each other, but kind of just like pushing each other to be better and to nail whatever thing we were working on and getting over whatever barriers were in our way within our training. So that kind of naturally had the door wide open for him and I to be a tag team once that time came, for sure.
So, what was one of the most surprising things you learned about wrestling?
Probably just like how hard it is. You know, I think that there's like this notion about wrestling when you are not in it, you know, whether it be drunken guys at a bachelor party wrestling each other, people doing backyard wrestling that are untrained, stuff like that. Like people like in those mindsets. So like, oh, I'm just gonna do like cool moves and like I'm gonna power bomb you and wrestling. There's just so much more to it, and like psychology wise and everything, and all those things that like make a match, and like why we do the things we do, why we do things, and what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, and like separating those. I think it's the stuff that like people don't really think about. You know, I think on the surface they do see choke slam, you know, and they just think that's all it is, but it's so much more than that.
So, what came naturally to you and what didn't?
What came naturally to me? I mean, I think a lot of the physical stuff, you know, I think came fairly naturally. There was definitely some hurdles with the physical stuff and just learning to like control your body and stuff. What really came naturally to me was talking. I was a pretty good promo back then. I mean, you know, I think I still am, I would say, but yeah, I don't know. I just remember doing like those early sessions and even like seminars. And promos were really where I was shining, and like I don't even think I was necessarily super comfortable. It's just like I just kind of happened to be good at it. So yeah, I mean, being good at it naturally made me comfortable down the road, but you know, yeah, doing promos for sure.
So, once you first started and kind of got your footing and debuted, you were under the name Danger Kid at the time. So, who were some of the people that helped guide you and helped shaping early Danger Kid?
So yeah, for sure. Danger Kid was actually like my third character.
Well, I met you late on in life. That's the
Yeah,
only
like
character I remember.
that's when you met me. Like even before that, I was a character named Levi Lexington
Oh,
for a
geez.
little bit there. That was like kind of like me as, you know, whatever, my just me as a singles character. And then on the flip side, when me and Agro started teaming, we were actually a tag team called the Fog, and we were skeletons. So yeah, those were like, that's what my first like year and a half looked like. And then eventually Danger Kid came about. But generally speaking, Ace Romero always was the guy that was around. Alexander Lee, who that's how we eventually found ourselves as MSP and Main State Posse. None of that would have happened without him at all. Another couple of ones are like Scotty Wild, for sure. Having some matches with him early on were super pivotal for our technical ability and whatnot. Johnny Torres is another good one. He's a great wrestling mind, and he was still
Absolutely.
active at that point. He was still wrestling. I go back and like one of the early, I can't remember the name of the show. I wish I could, but one of the early Limitless shows within the first like year or so, we had like it was like a Halloween street fight with them at like a Comic Con against Scott Wild and Johnny Torres, and it was a lot of fun. I think I remember like putting like a hollowed out pumpkin on one of their heads and like blasting them or something like that. And I think someone took a destroyer onto candy corn, and just silly Mecca. She Scotty Wild's
Yeah. Oh, all
partner,
right, all
like
right. Now the
yeah,
connection's made because I'm like, I think I know who Scotty is, but
yeah.
it wasn't
Mecca.
connecting. And
So
as soon as
Mecca
you
was
mentioned
active
her,
at that
yep.
point too, and she was managing them, and she was dressed like Freddy Krueger. And there was a spot where like there was a pin, like one of us was pinning, and she crawled into the ring and like used the Freddy claw and did a back rake and like, just silly shit. But like, you know what I mean? Like those guys were all like really, really pivotal to our success early on for sure.
Shout out to Scotty because his entrance music totally changed my taste in music after I
I
first
still
met
listen to
him.
that song all the
I
time.
love state champs.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever change it either.
He
I don't
better
think he
not. I'll be
should.
mad.
Yeah.
So, when you first debuted, what version of yourself walked into the ring on day one?
I mean, I think someone that was maybe slightly cocky, um, someone that thought they could change the world, probably. You know what I mean? I think we all kind of have a little bit of that in our youth. Someone that really thought that they could probably go as far as they wanted to with this whole thing. But also just somebody that was just eager to like learn, earn their spot, and like keep progressing.
So now that we've talked about the early days and getting your debut, and I want to talk a little bit more about moments that stuck with you, and not necessarily bigger matches, but just moments that kind of still live in the back of your mind. So, what is a match that from early on in your career that meant a lot to you?
Okay. There's a lot. There's definitely a lot. Um my we were all three members of MSP were in the first Vacation Land Cup for Limitless. And the first round was a MSP triple threat.
Ooh.
And oh wait, that wasn't that show. I think leading up to that, like we were kind of establishing like, oh, we can wrestle singles too. You know what I mean? It was either right before or right after that. And I think it was right before the first Vacation Land Cup. I ended up wrestling Jimmy Jacobs in a singles match on a full Limitless show, and that was really surreal. He was like one of the first like names I ever worked, and he was just an awesome guy and like had a lot of great like feedback for me and everything. He was really banged up, but he still did his best and like gave me way more than he needed to, for sure. A lot of our early matches with Tabernacle the team were really fundamental to us as a tag team. Those guys are awesome from up in Canada. And then like the really big one, I think, is our match with the North, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, and they were Impact Tag Team Champions at the time, and we won. So that was kind of crazy. And they're both insanely talented and incredible wrestlers, and then as a tag team, they're just like they're nuts. Like,
Yep.
and they're so different too. They're really interesting combination of dudes to be a team. But getting to work them was so cool. And like those guys are really awesome. Like we learned a lot. And I remember when I came out, Ethan Page messaged me on Twitter and was like, "Hey, I'm proud of you. You know, if you ever need anything." And it's just like one of those things. It's like, dude, like you're on TV. You know what I mean? Like I had one match
Yeah.
with you one time, and like you didn't need to do that. And it's just like that's really cool. You know, I don't know. It's special, and I don't know, not lost on me, I guess.
So, was there a match that changed how you saw yourself as a wrestler?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm not sure if there was like one particular match. Like, it's just like, I really think it was just like over time, just getting better, wrestling better people, getting better feedback, that confidence growing and everything. Like, I'm trying to think if there was like a specific match that really sticks out. I wish I could think of one. There nothing's coming to mind. I think it's just like I was saying, like it just kind of like snowballs. You know what I mean? Like you walk in on your first day of training and like you don't know shit, and who knows how far you're gonna go. And then you have that first match, and it's probably dog shit. And then a year in, you're doing the thing, but you're still not super comfortable. And that's something that Jossie and I always talked about early on was like, when do you think like we're just gonna feel super comfortable like in the ring? We talked about that a lot the first like couple years. And year 2 passes, year 3 passes, year 4 passes, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're wrestling people that are signed, people that used to be signed, legends, people that are about to be signed. You know what I mean? Like all these like you keep kind of like proving yourself, and you kind of keep getting like these tests thrown at you, and like sometimes you pass and sometimes you don't, and then if you don't, you take what you can learn from that, and then you take it to the next one, and then you really pass the next one, and then it's like it just kind of keeps building over time, and like I don't know, and then like after a while it's like, okay, wow, now new wrestlers are coming into the fold. I've been going for 5, 6, 7 years now, and it's like there's new wrestlers that are like, when I started training, like you were my favorite tag team, and it's like that's fucking crazy. Like what, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that, and it's just like it. Like I said, it just really just builds the confidence up. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I think one of the not a match, but one of the things that really I guess made me look at myself as a different wrestler, like in a different way as a wrestler, was starting to teach people when the Limitless Dojo opened, and like getting to teach people and realizing, at first kind of like, oh, I have no business like training people, but then it's like, well, who does have any business training people? You know what I mean? There's no like certificate. There's no like, you know what I mean? It's like something that's super policed. You know what I mean? There's bad trainers and there's good trainers, and like I found myself in that role, and it's like realizing that like, oh, I actually do have a lot to like teach people and show people, about fundamentals, tag team wrestling, psychology, promos. Like I do kind of have a lot of knowledge that I've built up over my own experiences, the seminars I've taken, my own training, like, and that in general, like getting to teach people is like, wow, okay. I guess I do know a thing or two about a thing or two.
So, is there a moment in your career tied to something happening in your life outside of wrestling?
I guess I mean the biggest and easiest answer is probably me getting done, right? Like I got done because well, I mean, I was burnt out in wrestling for sure. That's definitely part of it, but I also was just like fundamentally broken as a human being, and like I could barely like exist, let alone be a performer and a public figure, right? Like um I was at a real crossroads in life, and deciding to transition and everything, like all that kind of like dictated me having to get out of wrestling. So I think that's like probably the biggest one for sure.
So, thinking back now that you've came back, you've debuted, what feelings come up first?
Gratitude for sure. I like I leading up to the Rumble last month, and the big return, um there was a lot of self-doubt, like a lot, honestly, and that persisted, the closer and closer it got, and that's a feeling I had struggled with a lot over the last 2 years while I was gone. But that persisted so much leading up to it, and like right up until I walked out the curtain, I was just a wreck. It was just a nervous wreck. And then I walked out the curtain, and the response was amazing, and the response since has been amazing. And just knowing that like the people that are on my side, that have been on my side, they do still care. There's new people that now know me that didn't know me that are now on my side, and I would be nothing without them. My return wouldn't matter. You know what I mean? Nothing I would had done in my career before I left would have mattered without, the fans and everything. And they make me who I am. And I'm very grateful that I have the support that I do in wrestling, in my life, and who I am as a person. Gratitude. I'm just so grateful. None of it's lost on me. You know what I mean? Like I there's been times in my past in my career where I think I was jaded. But like that's one thing I'll never get jaded about is the fans that are in my corner.
So you've had so many matches in your career, so many emotions come through with each different match that you can think of. But if you could relive just one match to feel it all over again, what match would it be?
It's a really good question. I think probably the street fight that we had with Brandon Kirk and Alexander Lee at the show at the Limitless at the Portland Expo I think it was the anniversary show for Limitless. Probably in like 2019 maybe, I would like to say. 2019 sounds right. Maybe 18, 19. That was the biggest show that Limitless had to that point. Storyline wise, what we were doing at the time, it was like a lot of things were really coming to a head, and I don't know, just like it was just electric that night for sure, and the match was crazy. So that's definitely one that sticks out for sure.
So, looking back before coming back as Daphne, what did wrestling teach you about yourself?
I not so much taught me about myself, but like really just that confidence. You know what I mean? In a sense of like growing as a person, like the confidence that it's given me in and out of the ring is insane. I I'm still awkward and silly and whatnot, but I was like just a scrawny, awkward little kid, when I first started training. And now I'm a full-fledged confident woman. So I don't think I could ever have been as confident as I am without wrestling. I definitely attribute wrestling to like helping me come out like along the way too. Like if I never had wrestling, I don't know if I would have ever come out for sure. So that's huge.
So, what parts of that version of you are you grateful for?
Oh, I mean, all of it. Like, like I said, I think I just think my life would be a lot different if I didn't have wrestling. Like truly. I just don't think I would be in as good of a space. And I don't know. I think I'd probably be just like getting older and like really unhappier. Instead, like I feel like I'm aging like a fine wine, and I'm really like confident and happy and thrilled about life where I am now, where I'm going. I don't think I could say that if I never had wrestling.
Was there anything that you had to let go of to grow?
Yeah, for sure. Masculinity, for sure. That's definitely one big one. Let go of. Yeah, I mean that's really the biggest thing. Um, I think ego too. You kind of have to check yourself, right? Like you can't be walking around thinking like you should be confident, but you can't walk around thinking that you're like all that in a bag of chips, right? Like you have to have a good balance. You got to be kind of humble. So it's definitely important in this business for sure.
So now that you're stepping into this new character as the damsel Daphne DeVille, um, what does that name represent to you?
So it's the name I got from Daphne from Scooby Doo and Cruella DeVille. So kind of like two characters that like meant a lot to me like when I was a kid. Um, and kind of taking aspects of each and kind of making it my own and playing with that a little bit. Um, like I might be a damsel, but I'm not in distress, or like I'm the damsel that's gonna put you in distress. That kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Um, kind of coy, kind of playful, but also kind of devilish. Will cut you like glass. You know what I mean? Like a rose. You know what I mean? Beautiful and sweet, but will prick you if you grab it wrong. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what it means to me.
So, how does this version of yourself feel different in the ring?
I hate to keep coming back to it, but it's confidence. You know what I mean? I'm the most confident I've ever been. Now, granted, physically, I need to keep training. I need to keep knocking the ring rust off. Like I had the Rumble appearance. I haven't had an actual match in over 2 years. So the Bissell Brothers tag match, the MSP reunion will be, a real test for me physically for sure. But, I am training and doing what I can do and preparation for that. But I'm just happier, I mean, as a person, the vessel that is acting out Daphne and the damsel is confident, is happy, and I would like to think that will translate to my in-ring abilities. Obviously, the Rumble, I was in there for 2 minutes. It's a small sample size right now, but I'm really excited to just kind of dive back in and just kind of like take the training wheels off and just like let's go, pedal to the metal and let's wrestle. You know what I mean? Let's see what I got and see what this next version of myself has.
So, what excites you the most about this next phase?
Just really seeing how far I can take it without having the expectation of seeing how far I can take it. Right? Like before I was trying to get signed, I was trying to be busy, I was trying to be on the road every single weekend, I was trying to do this and that and work for this promotion and wrestle this person and yada 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 yada. I don't have any of that anymore. But like I still want to see how far I can go. Like if a good company comes a knocking, if somewhere down the line there's a contract offer in my lap, like I'm not gonna bat an eye to those things, right? But I'm not stressing myself out about those potentials, right? Like, and I think that's like the biggest thing about this time around versus before is like before that is what I was chasing. That is what ended up making me jaded. That is what contributed to my burnout, So this time around it's like really important that I don't have those expectations. Someone asked me on a podcast recently, like, what's your biggest goal in wrestling this time around and going forward? And my biggest goal is to not have any goals.
So, what do you want fans to experience from you now?
I just want fans to feel something when I'm in the ring, when I'm making my entrance, when I'm cutting a promo. I just want them to feel, you know, I think good wrestling is supposed to make you feel things, right? And like for better or for worse, I want people to feel when they see me perform.
And what are you most looking forward to showing the people?
I'm really looking forward to showing people like what I can do as a singles wrestler, for sure. Like over the years, I had plenty of singles matches, but like I was a tag team wrestler. I think everybody pretty much knew me for my tag team wrestling. It was pretty rare that I had singles matches towards the end there. So I'm really excited to show people what I can do as like a standalone character rather than as a part of MSP. Because MSP is, we're back and yada yada yada, but like I don't know, it's still complicated, right? Like, I mean, Aggro did turn his back on me, and I haven't forgotten about that. He also has Haru, at his side. And he's done his own thing for 2 years. He's kind of established himself as the main character, you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking forward to being able to do that my way and on my terms. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still excited to team and get the band back together. And whether that happens just the one time or a bunch more times after that, I don't really know. But I am looking forward to showing what the Damsel can be and what Daphne can do. Because I think that people will be surprised. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I was able to always like really showcase a lot of what I could bring to the table as a tag wrestler. You're splitting 12 minutes between 4 people, and you're as a tag team, like we want to work together and do tag moves and stuff. Like, and I really think like we achieved a lot with that. I feel like were we the best tag team in the world? God, no. But I feel like as far as like leveling up as a tag team, like we reached a pretty high level, I'd like to think. And so I think that there's a lot of room to do that as a singles wrestler.
I mean, for as long as I've known you, I've never seen you in a singles match. And we're talking
right?
like
I think what did we meet, like 2017 maybe?
Way before then. Well, I mean, that's maybe we first started talking, but like I remember like very, very early NCW days.
Oh wow,
So
okay.
I want to say
Yeah.
like 2012-ish, maybe.
Well, I debuted in like 2015.
Okay, so then it must have been right after I graduated then.
Yeah.
So like 7 or 8 years.
Crazy, right? But yeah, like I've had a lot of singles matches, but like can anybody really recall any of them?
Nope.
Probably not, you know what I mean? Like cuz I'm not known for that. I've had them, I can have them, but like it's not what I'm known for, and like I'm excited to see what I can do in that world.
And speaking on just the growth of MSP as a whole, I remember watching those early on matches at, how do I put this nicely? The lower known promotions,
Right.
and then going from wrestling like the Workhorsemen on a larger platform at the time that I don't want to bring up. But just seeing how much you two had grown together, and even individually when you did have your individual spots, it was still an whether it's you or even anybody else that I've been watching since I was a kid, it's still one of like the most rewarding things to me as a fan. Just seeing how much you guys can grow and seeing you guys going after your dreams, really.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, and that was always like, I was kind of like that level up game. You know what I mean? It's like work someone good in a lesser known promotion, and then we get brought into a better promotion because of that. We work, someone kind of whatever, and then we work someone who's like really established and like one of the top people there, and like we have a really good match with them, and then they put in a good word over here, and then we're working here now, and it's like, I like I said, just like it felt like we were just like getting tested all the time, and like more often than not, we were passing, you know. So it was always felt really good.
So now that you're back, you are back actively training, preparing for your next match. What are you actively working on right now as a wrestler?
Right now it's really just kind of like my move set, kind of re-honing old moves that I've done. And I like creating, I really like sequences and stuff. So like I'm going to training. What is it? Today's Wednesday, so 2 days. Friday, I'll be in training. It stinks because the Limitless Dojo, which was super close to me, closed, and now the Pine Tree Pro Wrestling School is open in Portland, but that's like 3 hours south, and I work like 60 hours a week, so shit can be kind of hard, but I make it happen. So right now it's just moves and sequences and kind of just like building my repertoire back up, because like also like when you're a tag team wrestler, it's like, okay, I might do 2 singles moves really in a whole tag match, and it's tag team move, tag team move, tag team move. um so it's kind of like preparing for the, I think, inevitable singles run I'm going to go on. Is It's like, okay, wow, I have all this more time to fill and all these different things that I can now do that I didn't really have a chance to do before. So that's kind of the big thing.
So, what kind of matches do you want to have moving forward?
Just good ones. I think I can wrestle anybody and have a good match. Someone who's really good, I can hang with. Someone who's really green, I can guide. Someone who's comedy, I can match them. Someone who's serious, technical, I can hang. If we're getting a little hardcore, we'll get a little hardcore. I really think I'm a lot more versatile than I think people realize. And so I just want to make good wrestling with whoever I get paired up with on any given show, and just kind of show everybody that like I'm easy to work with. I do everything I can to make my opponent look good. And I have a lot to bring to the table.
So, what do you want promoters to see in Daphne DeVille, and what do you want your peers to feel when they share a ring with you?
Well, I want my peers to always like feel like they're in good hands, right? I think that's the most important thing. I want them to feel like they're in good hands, like they can trust me. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna make them look good to the best of my abilities at every turn. Um, no selfishness here. Like, let's work together. Like, I want to take your stuff. I want to make your stuff look good. That's the selling has always been the most important thing to me in the wrestling. Like in my matches, like I love selling. Um, and I think that's kind of translated to like naturally getting good like babyface sympathy. Like when we were tagging, like I was always the one kind of like getting the shit kicked out of me and tagging out for the hot tag. Um, that's kind of just like the role that I kind of like was good at. Um, as far as promoters, I want them to know that like when they take a chance and book me, when they give me that vote of confidence, like you're gonna get a good match. I'm gonna do everything I can to like have that match fit your parameters, because time and story and yada yada. Like, I'm never gonna go into business for myself. I don't do that. I'm a team player. I'm a hard worker. And this time around, like I said, I'm not jaded anymore. I'm not burnt out anymore. Like, I want the shows to be as big as they can be. Like, I want to like help promote. I want to just do everything right, do everything that you're supposed to do. You know, this second go around, like I just want it to be exactly how it's supposed to be, really.
So I know you previously mentioned your goal is not having goals, but what does success look like for you this time around?
Just having fun. It really is. Like, I just want to have fun. That's the only
So
thing that matters to me.
so what are you most proud of surviving so far throughout your career?
Um, Probably like what I went through, you know, leaving and everything that led up to me leaving. Um, you know, that time in my life could have actually killed me, and it didn't. And now I'm back, and I wasn't sure if I'd ever come back. You know, a lot of people have been saying like, "Oh, we knew you'd come back, and it was inevitable." I think you even said that earlier. Like,
I said the tag team coming back was inevitable.
fair. But like when I returned at the Rumble, like a lot of people expressed like, "Oh, we knew you'd be back eventually." Blah blah. Like, I got a lot of that. I'm glad they knew because I didn't. Like, you know what I mean? That was never a given. Like, I figured there was a good chance, but there's plenty of times where I thought like I don't need to come back, and I could have not come back, and it probably would have been fine. But after a while, just kind of got that itch and really started to miss it.
Well, I'm glad you're back, and I'm sure several other people out there are glad you're back as well. So, what would you tell someone who's afraid to step into who they really are?
Don't be afraid, because there's really nothing to be afraid of. And I get that's easier said than done, right? Like, but at the end of the day, it's just like you only have one life. You only have one life on this earth. Like, you only have one body. You have to do it, because like if you don't, you're gonna regret it. I promise you're gonna regret it. I promise. And like, that's ultimately what drove me to like eventually come out, is like that I was falling into cases of like existential dread, like thinking about like, what if I died right now and I never came out, and how awful that would be. You have to come out. And like, I know that the world is a scary place right now. And I'm talking about like coming out and whatever, but like this could be applied to anything. But like, you just have to go for it, because no one else is going to do it for you. And like I said, you only have one life, you only have one body, so you have to do it. You're the only one that can make you do it. You have to. And if we are talking about things like coming out, gay, being trans, whatever it may be, yeah, I know the world's a scary place. I know the political climate right now is fucking insane, and it sucks and it's terrifying, but you need to look the world and the country that we're living in right now, and you need to flip it off and be like, bitch, this is who I am, and I don't give a fuck. And I know that it seems like everyone's all up in arms, but I can tell you right fucking now, those people hide behind keyboards. That's all they fucking do. They hide behind keyboards. They ain't got shit to say to your fucking face. Nobody says shit to my fucking face. I get weird looks. I don't give a shit though. And you can't. Like, but as far as like people opening their mouth and saying some of the nasty shit that you read on the internet, that doesn't fucking happen in real life. They ain't got shit to say. And I wish that somebody would. I wish a motherfucker would. But nobody does, because they're all fucking cowards and they hide behind their fucking keyboard. That's all they do, and that's all they're fucking good for. Live in the moment, live in the real world, and follow your heart.
So, I always like to head into some fun little personality questions to lighten up a little bit before the end. So, it's been quite a while since we've actually talked or even
Yeah,
seen each other. So
I know.
trying to come up with these questions was a little hard because I like to know a little bit about people.
That's
So
fine.
we're gonna start with this one.
Okay.
You're booked in Massachusetts. You're gonna come visit me. But on the ride there, you are only able to listen to 5 bands or artists. Who are we listening to?
Okay. I like this question. Um, Probably throwing Rise Against on. They're my favorite band of all time. Probably Vanna, Boston
Okay.
band. Go way back with that band. They are amazing. This is good. This is really good. Maybe some Doja Cat to kind of like switch it up a little bit.
All right.
Love Doja. Silverstein. It's another one of my favorite bands. They're just like everything they've ever done is really good, and like I don't know, they just keep putting out albums that are awesome. Like they've never done anything bad, so like that's an easy one. And then there's a lot that I want to say for number 5, but I'm gonna say with where I'm at in life right now, Devil Wears Prada.
All right. I'm familiar with all of them, but little fun fact about Vanna. Back when I was probably like 15 or 16, they were doing a local show out here at the Palladium, and my parents wouldn't let me go because it was a school night, and I like tweeted about wanting to go, and they tweeted back at me and was trying to convince me to sneak out of my house to go to the show. They're
That's
like, "What's your
hilarious.
name? We'll put you on the guest list. You don't even have to buy a ticket. Just sneak out. We'll get you in." I'm like, "Can't do that. I don't have a ride, man."
Yeah. That's awesome though. That's a good memory.
So next question. You are now given the opportunity to have the Daphne DeVille value meal at any fast food establishment. Where are we going with this and what is in the meal?
Oh, that's a good one. Um Probably I'm a little Taco Bell slut for sure.
Everybody loves Taco Bell
I
here.
fucking can't help it. I love Taco Bell so much. Taco Bell pisses me off though. The one in my hometown here, they're the worst. They always fuck everything up and they just don't care. It's crazy. Um but I guess probably just do like my Taco Bell order, which is because I know it's gonna go away because they have the Cantina menu right now. So the shredded chicken tacos, let's do 2 of those. The shredded chicken crispy tacos off the Cantina menu, 2 of those, and then one of the spicy potato soft tacos and a sweet lightning Mountain Dew to go with it.
All right.
Yeah.
A lot of people tend to go with Taco Bell. I'm kind of surprised.
It's I don't know.
I didn't
Taco Bell
realize
is
how many
my
people
happy.
like Taco Bell.
It's unfortunately like it's just really good trash. Can't
Yep.
help it.
So, what are your top 3 favorite movies?
Okay. Okay. Shit. Um Tommy Boy, probably one of the best comedies of all time. I don't know, I've been really thinking about Chris Farley lately for numerous reasons. Just one of the best to ever do it. Gone way too soon. Literally probably one of the funniest humans to ever walk the planet. Tommy Boy. I really, and you know, this might be a little on the nose given the influences of my character and stuff, but I don't know if it's like favorite, but it's like just one of the first ones. And I don't know if any of these are really my favorite except for the last one I'm gonna say. The newer like live action Cruella movie with Emma Stone in it. Loved that. So good. We could sit here for a long time and talk about movies. These are just a couple that like have recently I've been thinking about. But like actually like probably my favorite movie of all time that is criminally underrated. And I'm not saying it's a good movie. It actually was rated very poorly, and might be why not many people know about it. But I want to say it was like 2002. This movie called Grind came out.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Grind?
Maybe.
Probably
let me
not.
look it up.
Probably not. You probably have not, and nobody knows about it. Those that know, they know. But it's a skateboarding movie.
2003.
2003. I was close. And it was rated very poorly, but it's got like cameos, like Bam Margera's got a cameo in it. It's got like a couple pro skaters in it. And I just fucking love that movie so much. I watched that movie so much when I was a kid. It was
feel
crazy.
like something my brother may have seen.
Probably ask him about it. And if you get the chance, seek it out, watch it. You can probably rent it on YouTube for like $2.
It's on Tubi. It's free.
There you go. You know what I mean? Watch it because it's a good little treat. And like I'm saying, it's not a good movie. It's not a good movie.
Not a good movie.
But it's one of my favorites. It's a real big nostalgia piece for me. So,
all right. You are now booked for a show that only has access to Disney or Nickelodeon music. What is your new entrance song?
Damn. Disney or Nickelodeon, you said?
Yep. All right. I know that face. I'll throw Cartoon Network in there too.
Thank you. Okay, like because we were just on the way home from the Limitless show the other night. We were talking about Cartoon Network and all those old shows. Cartoon Network is far superior to both Nickelodeon and Disney. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to start throwing that in there too.
But as far as like entrance music, fuck, that's so hard. Jeez. That's so hard to pick one. I don't know. I also say Powerpuff Girls.
All right.
We'll go with Powerpuff Girls.
And we have reached the last segment of my show that I like to call Promo Roulette. So let's pop that going. All right. So last week on the show, we had LMK, Lil Mean Kathleen, and the item that she picked for you for Promo Roulette this week was Snoopy the dog from Charlie Brown. So you can shoot a promo on Snoopy, or you can shoot a Snoopy-inspired promo on LMK.
Okay. Geez, it's tough because I said I was good at talking earlier, but I do not feel overly confident with this one. I don't know anything about Snoopy. But I do know a little thing about Little Mean Kathleen. I know that you're a weird little troll, a weird little gremlin, and you do weird little things, and you like big antics, and you like to be a little bit of an oddball, and you really, really thought that you were going to throw a little curveball my way by picking Snoopy of all things. You really thought, oh, Daphne's coming on the podcast after me. Let me really fuck up her whole fucking day after she talks about being a good promo, and I'm going to throw Snoopy because there's not a damn shot that she knows a damn thing about Snoopy the dog. Well, guess what, bitch? I may not know a damn thing about Snoopy the dog, but I can still cut a damn promo on your weird little ass in regards to Snoopy the dog. So suck on that, LMK. That's all I got.
Well, that is
That's
great.
crazy. Fucking
Well,
twisted for that segment. That's a crazy thing to do.
it happens. But you are now in the hot seat, and you get to pick an item for next week's guest.
Okay. Do you say next week's guest on here?
I do after this.
Okay. Let's go with. Oh, let me think. I want to hear a scathing promo cut on the worst baseball team to ever do it, the New York Yankees.
All right. So the
Trash
person,
them, drag them, run them through the mud.
so the person that's gonna be shooting a promo next week on the New York Yankees is none other than American Deathmatch champion John Wayne Murdoch.
Let's go.
So we will be back next week with John. Haven't gotten a time yet, so we'll get that to you as soon as we do. But with that being said, that is everything we have for you this week. So thank you to Daphne for joining us. And thank you to everybody viewing at home. We will be back next week on Wednesday with our next episode. Join us next week where we'll be back with John Wayne Murdoch.